Welcome to the Brian Oxman Show. From politics and corruption to celebrity scandals, Brian helps us get to the truth behind the headlines. Here's your host, Brian Oxman.
I am Brian Oxman, and you are listening to Insight. Randy Jackson is a member of the famous Jackson family. He has been my friend for over 25 years. We have him in the studio here today, and I am just, Randy, it just makes me feel so good that you are here, and I thank you. It's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm not here.
You're not here. We've never been here.
I'm well, and you?
You are looking just so good, and you are sounding so good.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Happy to be here.
I mean, we have just been through so many things. The members of the Jackson family have been part of my life, a part of my existence, and it is so strange that you were the very first Jackson that I ever got the honor of meeting and saying hello to, and my friendship with you has lasted for, I don't know, it's now a quarter of a century. That's kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah. It's too long.
Okay, it's got to.
Wait a minute. How did we meet?
Well,
Kathy, right?
Kathy Lee Crosby. Kathy Lee Crosby
That's right.
was in a battle with Joe Theismann. That's the guy who you see with super beta prostate, and it was an NFL announcer and the quarterback for the Washington Redskins.
Right.
She was in that battle, and she was trying to keep her house. And who did she turn to?
Brian, don't talk to people business.
That's right.
Yeah.
She turned to you, though.
No.
You were her friend, and that's how I met you. It was so cool. That was a while back. And now there's just so many things happening in your life. Tell us what's going on with Randy Jackson.
Well, a lot. In terms of what? What do you want to know?
Well, how about the trial?
Okay, that's my family's life. Which trial?
Which trial? There are so many of them.
There's a lot of trials.
Yeah, you and I went through the trial with your brother Michael Jackson, which was up in Santa Maria.
Yes.
And that was an experience, and we're gonna talk about that because it was an amazing experience. And there's currently a trial which is going on in Los Angeles County Superior Court over the wrongful death of Michael Jackson. It has generated a lot of interest. You've been there to support your family, and tell us what the thoughts are about the wrongful death trial that we're seeing now.
Well, this trial for the family members was to get more information around my brother's death. We felt that in the criminal case with Murray, we didn't get all the information that we wanted or needed.
Why was that, Randy? What happened there?
Well, I think in the from what you've taught me, that in a criminal case, they're very specific about what discovery and what you can find out.
A narrow view of the world, just to take a very microscopic view of what happened is what we saw in that criminal trial with Conrad Murray.
Yes, so I guess the judge told us who we could depose and talk to in the criminal case. But in the civil case, you can talk to anybody and find out more information as to what happened.
There has been a lot of people who have come to testify, had a lot of explanation and history about Michael Jackson, about the Jackson family. And the one thing which has really, riveted me is the fact that the family has been, tight, has been kind to one another, have always been recognizing that everybody's feelings have got to be honored. And I don't think people recognize that about your family. I get to see it. Why is it that other people don't see just how kind each of your family members are? Is it because of the public commotion which is there?
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world where sensationalism, am I okay in the microphone? Okay. Seems to get the greatest attention in newspapers and tabloids and things like that. So with the good, the bad seems to get most people's attention.
All right, when we talk about a microscope, boy, your family, you are under this microscope. And,
Yes.
and it magnifies things.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, we're family. We have our issues. We don't get along all the time.
No, what family does? I mean,
there's a few of my brothers and sisters I'm not getting along with right now. I love them.
That's the thing, Randy. You can't live with them. You can't live without them. Isn't that the way life is?
Yeah, but it's kind of a balancing. It teaches you a lot about yourself too, and taught me a lot about myself in terms of having grace and love for everyone. And I mean, at the end of the day, you still love each other. So, and that's the most important thing, right?
I mean, that's right. And what I remember is in Michael's criminal trial, where there was always so much commotion going on among the family members. There was competition galore. You're America's first family of music. You got egos that just won't quit. They go and step on other family members all the time. But when Michael was in trouble, who did he turn to? He turned to Randy Jackson. And I think that meant a lot to me. I know it meant a lot to you. That through all of it, there's still a tremendous love and respect in your family. Do you see that still going on?
Of course. I mean, yeah. I certainly, I know that, and I see that. During that criminal trial, my brother and I, we're closest in age. We're close in age. So we roomed together on tours and kids growing up. So we just were able to talk about things. And certainly I put together a team of lawyers that I felt comfortable with, you being one of them, Tom Mesereau, which has been a longtime friend of mine and yours, Brian, before this trial, and a few other people. And we were able to get the truth out. I just wanted the truth to be known. That's it.
You are listening to Randy Jackson here on Insight with Brian Oxman. Randy, you talk about the truth coming out, and what we're trying to do in this trial with the whole family and Michael's wrongful death is get to the truth. Do you think that is happening? Do you think that what we're seeing is how it is that Michael came to a tragic end?
I think the truth is getting out. It is in this wrongful death trial. There's more. That's what was important for us as a family. We just wanted to know what happened and that the truth be told. And now we're finding out more as to what happened, why it happened, and the cast of characters around him at that particular time.
You talk about the cast of characters. Everyone has pointed to Conrad Murray and said, oh, it's his fault, and he was convicted of a crime, of gross criminal negligence, recklessness. But I always thought that it was the puppet masters who were pulling the string, the people who were responsible. It was, if this were a racehorse, and I keep looking, Michael was almost like a racehorse. The owner wanted him drugged. The trainer wanted him drugged. The people all around him wanted him to get up and perform, and they hired a doctor to drug him. Why is it that if this were a racehorse, the racing commission would throw these people out, and yet we have a trial where they're saying, oh, it wasn't their fault?
Well, I think in these kind of politics exist in everything in society, from our government to entertainment industry. Certainly there's always someone up top controlling everything.
Yeah, the puppet masters.
Yeah, the puppet masters, they control everything. In this particular situation, yes, Murray was hired, but we always felt there was something quite not so right about it. I mean, just why would he order all these things and that?
Immediately, the first thing he did when he was hired, he started ordering drugs upon drugs upon drugs. Somebody told him to do that, and it wasn't Michael.
Well, we'll see what happens. You can say that, but I'm not going to say that. You can say it, and you can say things. I'll just pass you notes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I have strong
Brian,
feelings.
say this.
Randy, I have strong feelings. I lived this with you, and this is the thing which I find to be, I don't know, I cherish it. I lived these things with you. I live them with you.
Yeah.
I was there, and people can't tell me to the contrary.
Absolutely. I mean, you're a tough guy.
Well, we're trying.
Thick skin.
Hey, we're going to take a couple calls for you. Give us a call, 855-892-9606. We're going to talk to Randy Jackson. He will take your call, 855-892-9606. You are listening to Insight with Brian Oxman and Randy Jackson. We will be right back. Brian Oxman, and you are listening to Insight. Randy Jackson is here with us in the studio. He is the member of the famous Jackson family, the younger brother of Michael Jackson, my friend for so many long years. Randy, just sitting in the studio with you, it's I don't know, it's deja vu all over again.
I'm telling you, let's start a war.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It's the way it is.
No.
Okay, wait. The wardrobe malfunction. Come on, man. Of all the things, it is the most watched moment in all of television history.
Football.
More people watched that because it was in the middle of the Super Bowl, which was huge viewing audience, and then it was TiVo'd and replayed so many times. Tell me about the wardrobe malfunction.
Well, what do you want to know about it?
All right. First of all, there's controversy. Was it planned? Was it unplanned? Was it an accident?
Well, it's very interesting what happened.
Was it Justin Timberlake being a dum-dum?
No. It's very interesting what happened. At that particular time, Michael and I were in La Jolla. We were in La Jolla at a beach house just hanging out. And I saw this thing happen. We were sitting there watching TV.
So you were watching the Super Bowl?
Yes. And we saw this thing happen. So I'm trying to call
Janet Jackson, the youngest of the of the family.
Right.
She gets on the Super Bowl halftime show.
Right.
Billion people watching, and her clothes get ripped off. This is great.
So I'm trying to call her like crazy. I got to call her because evidently she was planning to do a press conference. But the phone wasn't working. She was trying to call me back, but the phone wasn't working. I was going to tell her that whatever you do, don't apologize. Apologize that it happened, but if it was a malfunction, it was a malfunction. So don't make it, because if you apologize for it, then it makes it seem as though she intended for it to happen. So yes, apologize that it happened, but it wasn't your intention that there was a mistake. And sure enough, everybody said, "Whoa, she apologized, so it means that she planned for it to happen." It wasn't. It was simply a malfunction. I'm sure we're all sorry that happened, but it wasn't a plan.
Well, when I got to talk to you and Michael the first time after that, which was later in the day, you have to look at it from my point of view. Here we have Michael Jackson about to go on to trial for child molestation.
And that's the other reason why I didn't want her, because I know that they were trying to do anything to pin anything against the Jackson member at that particular time, and because my brother was, but once again, the puppeteers were, in command, trying to.
But you have to put yourself in the position of everyone around here, because here Michael is on trial for his life, for child molestation, and we have a great thing. His sister is going to appear on the Super Bowl in the halftime show. This is a great thing. And what happens to his sister? She bears her breasts in front of the entire universe, and you got to think, hey, thanks, sis. This is really helping. Yeah.
See, that's why I try not to do too much stuff, because how I am. If I knew it wasn't, something I had planned to do, of course, she would never do that. Janet's the sweetest person on earth. But, but when you do this big apology in these tabloids, they want to say that you planned to do it.
Went crazy over it.
My family, no one in my family would do such a thing.
I watched it very closely and have talked to not only everyone who was involved in the incident, but looked at it and replayed it to see what happened. And what I see is a woman who had her clothes torn. It wasn't her. It was Justin Timberlake. Why is it that nobody sits and says, look, Mr. Hayseed, you tore the woman's clothes. What's the matter with you?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say it's Justin's fault, but I know it wasn't supposed to happen like that.
It was supposed to be some kind of little artsy thing of ripping off the surface.
The top layer, and there was clothes underneath.
And there was clothes underneath.
Yeah, it was like a Velcro thing. And you know, people rip clothes off, the Velcro, and then they have clothes underneath. But for some reason, the whole thing came off.
Because he grabbed the whole thing. let's not, the guy grabbed the whole blasted thing.
Okay, well, maybe it was done on purpose by him. Maybe.
I know. And he kind of has skated on this, and everyone turned to Janet. And it's not the woman's fault.
No, she would never do this. But that was a long time ago. So
it is the controversy which has surrounded the family. Why is it that this family has been so involved in controversy from day one? Is it because you guys are the biggest performers in the world, a world famous family? What creates the controversy?
Well, I think not just in music, with anything that when you exceed, when you're successful at anything you do, we knew that the controversy is going to be there, and that's part of it. So you do have a choice whether you want to do it or not and continue. But of course, it's going to be there, and so that it kind of fuels me in a way.
There have been so many famous families in American music. The Jacksons are now the first family of American music. You have Eddie Foy and the Seven Foys, which was back in the first of last century. You had George M. Cohan and his family. You had the Oxman family. But there's never been anything like the Jackson family. The talent which exists, the extreme beauty of all of the members of the family, the uniqueness. Is there ever going to be something like this again?
Is there ever going to be another Jackson?
Another Jackson family?
No, probably not. I'm not saying that we've done anything so amazingly wonderful. It's just that there'll be another family that does something different that is great as well.
It won't be the same. There'll be someone else will come along and grab greatness and grab the imagination.
Of course, and that's how it should be.
But not like you guys.
Well, look, we just do what we do. God's given us a gift, and we just like having fun doing it. But I think there'll be another family that has equal amount of success. It won't be the same as us, but they'll be individual in their own right, and they will be successful at it.
Since Michael's death, what has been the attitude of people toward you? Has his death changed your life? Has it made it a difference? And I guess that comes down to missing Michael. What is it like?
Well, you never really know what it's like until it happens. You always say, well, if that happened to me or my family, I would this. When it happens, it's a total different thing. I mean, I still struggle with it, and that would never go away. I learned to cope and how to live life with it, but the pain never goes away.
It's one of those milestones, and people I don't think understand milestones in a person's life. It's a time before when Michael was here, and a time after. It's a dividing line in a person's life, don't you think? Absolutely.
When you lose a family member, it makes you think about the important things in life, and makes you think about the things that you wish you would have done with that person and all those things.
What do you think of mostly? What's your fond memories?
Just sitting around. My brother, we're all pretty crazy. Like to have fun, jokes. You've been around us.
Oh my goodness!
Jokes, funny,
the picking on one another, the practical jokes, and really, and what I see, and the strange thing is, I see kindness in all that. Yeah. Other people see meanness. I don't. I see you wouldn't do it if you didn't love one another.
But there's so underneath that there's a knowing that we do have the success, and there has been some controversy. So we have comfort in being funny, and just there's an effort to make it the way it used to be. So that's there, and that's okay.
Cool.
I'm okay with that.
How cool. Hey, give us a call, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be able to talk to Randy Jackson, 855-892-9606. You're listening to Insight with Brian Oxman. Stick with us, and Randy Jackson will be right back. I am Brian Oxman, and you are listening to Insight. I'm here with Randy Jackson. He is a member of the famous Jackson family, the youngest member of the Jackson family, and we are going to take some calls. And Randy, it's so good to have you with us, and you give us a call at 855-892-9606. Randy will take your call. We got a caller from Palm Springs. It's Ariel. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi there. It's so good. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet. What you got for Randy?
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
It's so great to talk to you.
Hi. I'm stretching, sorry.
I just wanted to say how much I love and appreciate the Jacksons. They've been one of my favorite artists and role models since I was really young. I love your music. You guys are great.
Thank
it's
you.
Inspirational. I know that the last time really that you guys had all been in concert since before Michael passed away, I remember it was right before 9/11. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that concert and, how things have changed for you guys since then.
Oh, wow, Randy. Well, the last time the whole family performed was September 10th, right before 9/11.
Yeah, it was a very interesting time, that show. We're all in New York together, and there were two shows, as I recall.
That's right.
One was on the 8th, and I think one was on the 10th. The last show was on the 10th. It's the last time we were all on stage together. But the very next morning, in fact, I was talking to you.
That's right,
Sorry.
Randy. Where were you at 9/11 has been one of the watchwords of our
Right.
society.
Right.
I was talking to Randy Jackson on
Yeah.
the telephone when the Twin Towers were hit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We were staying at the hotel across from the Central Park in Los Angeles. They name it
The Plaza. It was
the Plaza. Right. Yes, and I'm talking to you, and I'm seeing this plane go into the building, and then it collapsed. It was very strange.
Unreal.
So after this great show and all this fun we had on September 10th, the very next morning, the whole world is, especially New York, was crazed, and we're just thinking. I got off the phone with you, and I called my brothers. I said, "Look, we've got to get out of here," because we really didn't know what was going on at that particular time. So we took a bus because the flights were all grounded. No planes were in the air. One of my brothers had taken off. Marlon had taken off, in fact, already. But his flight was grounded somewhere in Middle America. He was
Gosh, darn it.
But yeah, we took a bus back to California.
Yeah, I got calls from Pennsylvania, then I got calls from Indiana, and then I got calls from Arizona. It was amazing.
So to answer her question, since then, we've been okay. That was a humbling experience because it lets you know, with all the excitement we had on that stage, life is precious and the most important thing, so it kind of puts things in perspective there. So yeah, humbling experience, and we're doing well now.
Wow.
Terrific. What else you got, Ariel?
Yeah, and I think my only other question for you is, have you talked to Paris lately? We've been so worried about her. Everybody's had their eyes on her. And, how is she doing? Is she okay?
Well, yes, I'm hearing that, I guess I tweeted some things. And
Randy's tweets go all over the world.
Created some excitement. And the reason why I tweeted what I tweeted, Brian, because the hospital that, that she went to, that it didn't have the greatest reputation in some ways, and they had been physical with some kids, and I was really concerned about that, and it's too far away from the family. I was concerned about that. So when I can't get answers, sometimes you bring things to a public forum, says the Bible, which is how I live my life.
That's how I know Randy Jackson. Absolutely.
So when I tweeted those things, then all of a sudden, that's when Debbie Rowe and everybody started to come out. Although it did create some crazy stuff, but it also made everything.
You tweeted that you were not happy.
It made everything come to surface.
You're not happy with how she's being handled.
Yes.
And it's part of the Jackson family tradition. I mean, this is what we do.
Yeah, it's what I do, and I guess I break the rules sometimes, but sometimes rules have to be broken. We've been on the stage all of our lives, and sometimes you have to step off stage.
Absolutely. Hey, Ariel, thank you for giving us a call. Give us a call again at 855-892-9606. Insight with Brian Oxman, our special guest, Randy Jackson. Stick with us. Randy and I will be right back. I am Brian Oxman, and you are listening to Insight. I'm here with my special guest, Randy Jackson. He is the youngest member of the Jackson family, been my friend for a quarter of a century.
Yeah, but we've had our battles.
Oh, too. Randy, listen, no, I feel like
we have our ups and downs, too. You and I.
Correct.
You get mad at me, I get mad at you, and I fight back.
Because it makes me understand the Jackson family. I am the only one, I think, who gets it, because I feel like one of the brothers.
Yeah.
And everyone gets mad at me.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and they love me. I'm one of the brothers.
Yeah. I'm still trying to love you. I'm just joking.
I know. It's really tough.
I love you, Brian.
It's really tough. I know.
I love you.
Randy.
I'm mad right now because you have better headphones than me, and I'm a singer. And why is it that your headphones are better than mine?
Well, that too can be fixed, and we'll do that. We were talking about Paris. How is she doing?
She's, from what I understand, she's doing well, and I was concerned about that, as I said before, but she's doing a lot better, and so great. Thank you, God, for that.
You are not kidding. It is good to hear. The one thing which I think is in the forefront of all of the news releases is the estate of Michael Jackson, the administrators of this estate, who are John Branca, John McClain. There's a lot of problems going on, particularly the IRS versus these folks. Tell us what's happening there.
John Branca and John McClain. Howard Weitzman. Three Stooges.
You are not happy with them.
No, I'm not. And I'm saddened more than anything because, I've known these people a long time. And it breaks my heart to see how things can change. Money can change people. And all I can say that I hope it works out for everyone in the best way that it should. And now the government's gotten involved. And so,
all right, the government's involved huge, big time. They say that $702 million, let me say that again, $702 million, yes. Almost $750 million in taxes are owed, plus penalties, plus interest. It is a staggering figure that this estate has been conducted in a manner that after paying $100 million in taxes, it owes penalties, interest, and $702 million. What's happening?
Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg. These are some of the things that I've known all along. You and I have discussed it. But for me to come out and say all these things, it would seem kind of crazy. But when the government says it,
Then people, when the IRS speaks, people
it
listen,
has a
don't
lot more
they?
relevance. Yes, it does.
This is because of what? What kind? I mean, anytime a person of wealth who passes away can't plan their estate, somebody has botched it. What's happened?
Well, I don't know what's happened, but I know something's wrong, and you know that. I mean, I think I know what's happened. I don't want to say too much here. It's horrible. I mean, Branca had said many times that, you know, my brother was $400 million in debt, and he had paid off all his debts, and they did a massive campaign on that. How Branca did all these great things, but now you see the filings. He said he was only $28 million in debt, not 400 or 500 million.
No, this debt was a fantasy, and I want to talk to you. We're going to take a quick break. $310 million came into the estate in the first year of its operation. There wasn't any debt with that huge income flow. Let's take a quick commercial break, Randy, and talk about really kind of the phantoms which have been perpetrated here. You're listening to Insight with Brian Oxman. My special guest is Randy Jackson. He is the youngest member of the Jackson family, and really one of the most outspoken and the guy to turn to when you need him. We'll be right back.
I'm feeling good.
I am Brian Oxman, and you are listening to Insight. I am here in studio with Randy Jackson, the youngest member of the Jackson family, and
Youngest boy.
the youngest boy.
Yes.
Okay.
The youngest boy.
All right, give me a rundown. Who's who and what's what? You got to have a scorecard.
There's too many of us, so
I
I
know.
don't know. So I don't even know myself. I'm just joking.
Okay, you have the oldest.
The oldest is Reeve.
Is Maureen Reeve.
Then there's Jackie.
Jackie.
Then there's Tito.
Tito.
Then there's Jermaine.
Right,
Then
Jermaine.
there's Latoya.
Correct.
Marlon.
Right.
Michael.
Right.
Myself.
So you came right after Michael,
Yeah. And then Janet.
and then Janet.
Yes.
And Janet is the baby.
The baby, yes. Not a baby, but the baby, yes.
I mean, this roll call, and the strangest thing is, Randy, the roll call, when we were in court on the Smith-Hemian case, which was many, many moons ago, I did that roll call as to the people who I represented. Everybody just, they were in stitches as I recited the 9 members of the Jackson family, and I included your mom and dad. It's America's first family of music. What an amazing group of people.
Thank you. I like these headphones.
Oh, we switched headphones.
Yeah,
you
thank
got
you.
the good ones.
I got the good ones now.
You look good in them.
Well, yeah, these are Sennheisers. I use these in the studio. How dare you do that to me?
We were talking about the taxes which are
Yes.
owed on the Michael Jackson estate. The interesting thing is the IRS says that the image of Michael Jackson, which was valued by the estate at $2,105, was a nonsensical valuation, utterly absurd in the view of the IRS. They said it's more like $434 million. What kind of thing? What were they thinking when they valued Michael's image as being $2,000?
That's a question for John Branca and John McClain. It saddens me, as I said before. I don't understand that, and this is the tip of the iceberg. A lot more is going to come out, and I'm just happy that the truth is coming to surface. So,
It's a question of estate planning, and we pay attorneys a lot of money to plan people's estates.
yes,
And the purpose of that is so that when they pass away, that they don't have these huge tax liabilities, which take away from their children. We talk about Prince Paris and Prince Michael II, who we call Blanket. They have an inheritance that they're entitled to. It looks to me like it's all being eaten up by taxes, which were never planned for, despite the fact that the people who are in charge now were the people who did the poor tax planning.
I think it's important that the public knows that my family is not, we are not happy with McLean and Branca. We never have been. We're not supportive. We don't believe that the will is real. There's a lot that we don't believe. I think there's this misconception that we're supportive of their conduct. We're not. For some strange reason, and this is me speaking, that will, the original will is under seal in court, and for some reason, no one can get it out. But I think maybe there's a chance that will happen. But we don't support the situation. We don't support this whole thing with the taxes, with Branca. We're just not happy with it. So I want that to be known to the public. You okay, Brian?
Can we cut that out?
No, don't cut it out.
Don't cut that out.
No, leave it.
We got to have that in
You're coughing and you're turning red.
That's right. You are not happy with how this estate is being administered. And you talked about the will. That has been a matter of public speculation.
Yes.
It's not speculative, Randy.
It's not.
You are one who knows. Why? What's happening?
Well, he simply wasn't there when they said he signed the will on the penalty and perjury. He was not in that location. He was, and that's been proven. But then they created this whole thing with this kidnapping to try to divert the attention over to here.
The will says it was signed in Los Angeles, but Michael wasn't in Los Angeles.
No. So all of a sudden, when I asked that question, all of a sudden Katherine Jackson's kidnapped, and where is she? Yada yada yada. But no one, So that was all staged by them to kind of steal the attention away from the fact that this will was under question.
Why has this not been examined by federal authorities to look into the authenticity of this will? I don't care what anyone says. Somebody needs to examine it. Why hasn't that happened?
That's a very good question. Howard Weitzman seems to have some kind of pull somewhere, and but maybe it is being examined. The government, they don't tell you what they're doing all the time, but maybe it is being examined and we're not aware of it. But for some reason, the court is not allowing us to go any further than this probate situation.
Tell me about Randy Jackson. Where and what is in the future for Randy Jackson?
I try to live a simple life. I try to be as comfortable in my own skin as possible and leave the stage stuff on the stage. I spend my time, I'm in ministry school, and I spend my time helping people, sharing God's love all over the place as much as I can, and that's my life. That's what I do.
I don't know. People say to me, Randy, he is so nice. He's so kind.
I'm not that nice.
Let me tell you something. You are. You are. But at the same time...
Ask my ex-wife.
She'll
tell you I'm not so nice.
I have lived that one with you, too. At the same time, you are as tough as nails. And that's why everyone turns to you. So you have these two sides, Randy. And I think it's amazing.
Well, I want to believe that I'm tough on principles and values. My values, I want to keep them strong and never want to change those things because that's who I am as a person, and that's all I have.
Well,
so
I am honored to be your friend, and I thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I want to also thank our special guests. We had Army Staff Sergeant Ty Carter, the Medal of Honor winner. We had Randy Jackson, the member of the Jackson family, and Gil Garcetti, the former district attorney of Los Angeles. You're listening to Insight with Brian Oxman, and we will see you once again next week.